We had to get the shot clock moved to center, right to the center field line. So I can't tell you the shot clock because I don't know what it is. I'm not looking at it. But we haven't had a goal quite yet in this contest. 2.5 minutes in, and a lot on the line here for the Beacons as they play host to the Plymouth State Panthers. Your Beacons are in white. Panthers are in black. Plymouth State 2-5 on the season. Your Beacons 6-0. They are returning from a 2-game road trip in Texas. They won their first game at the host school, Southwestern University, in overtime. 15-14, and then followed it up with a 16-11 victory against Hendrix College. One home game to get the conference slate started here against Plymouth State, and then a 5-game road trip. So the Beacons are off to a great start, but this game really hinging the future of the season as we move forward with the Beacons really wanting to keep this momentum going, but needing it as they have 5 straight games on the road after this. Jack Bonazali, big ball moving long stick midfielder for the Panthers, with it in his possession right now. They go back out center. The attack coming in. That ball not in the net. It hits the post. Trevor Coppy gets bailed out by the post as that was Doug Solfrank coming in from the midfield, dodging on through. And his shot beat Trevor Coppy, but it hit the post, and now the Beacons, we're still in a scoreless game, plugging ahead on offense. Left-handed shot and score.
When Ali was up here?
I'm using that, by the way. Well, we had to figure out the audio and the camera. So the audio is going through that camera, and then
It's right here.
For Gavin, goal number 22 on the season. He's had national recognition across the past 2 weeks. LEC Weekly Honor Roll this week, and then 2 weeks ago, Division III Player of the Week, as announced by the USLIA. Derek Fahey now on the attack as the Beacons 2 quick goals within 25 seconds of each other. It was Greg Wolf for his 15th of the season to get the scoring started. And then Gavin Admirand adding his 22nd in just 6+ games right now for the Beacons. Continuing the momentum, who were up 2-0. Owen McNichols, team starting goalie. He's played in all but 30 minutes of action across 7+ games for the Panthers this season. He hands it off to the long stick midi. Charging in, number 16, Mark Hersham. Hersham, true defender actually, with 1 goal on the season, leads the team in turnovers caused. He got dispossessed, but he'll get bailed out by his midfield mate, Matt Miner. Miner, a talented, true freshman. 20 points on the season, 13 goals to go along with 7 assists. Stalling up towards the top of the key, actually. We have a break in the action here. The referee, with some words to the players inside the crease. It looks to be big number 15, Patrick Carey, might have gotten a talking to there. Who else is there? You see Patrick Colburn around. A quick break in the action here as we reset.
So during the game, she stopped everything.
We are 5 minutes into the action. Clean 10 minutes left in the first quarter. Beacons up 2-0. Stop and start game up to this point so far.
What do you think? Stop it and then start it?
I think we might be back underway in a split second here. Cradling the ball for the Panthers, number 3, Nolan Burke. Burke, a sophomore out of Worcester, Mass. 10 goals, 9 assists. He can really initiate the offense. And it'll be a 2-man midfield game for the Panthers as we go back underway here. Dodging down the right wing, Nick Drew. Drew 15 assists on the season. That pass scatters out of reach from big goal-scoring threat Mike Fleury, also a contributor on the Plymouth State men's hockey team. Turnover for the Panthers. Beacons with a 2-0 lead, and now trying to break this little press here from the Panthers. It's going to be Patrick Carey in the long stick. He'll cradle. Trying to get it into the offensive box. He's pestered on the play by Panthers number 7, Mark Iamili. Very talented long stick midi for the Panthers. Michael Claflin surveying the scene. Around the perimeter they go, Elijah Beasley. In the middle there with his stick up high looking for the ball, Luke Murphy. He can't control it cleanly, and that's a turnover around the crease area. The worst spot to commit that turnover. And now the Beacons have to resort back to the defensive effort here to get another stop. Plymouth State, a very interesting 2-5 team. They only have 2 wins on the season, but both of those wins in blowout fashion. They beat Gordon College by 6 goals. As you see, a beautiful on-ball interception right there on defense by Justin McCullough. He'll take it ahead himself before shoveling it off to Luke Murphy. So they won a game by 6 goals. They won a game by 17 goals. And of their 5 losses, 3 of them are by 1. So they have played in some heartbreaking games. If you look at their overall team stats across the season, they have the advantage over their opponents in most statistical categories. They just lost 5 very close games. Now the Beacons, on the other hand, 2 overtime wins and then 4 blowout wins. You'd like to maybe see the Beacons feel a little bit more of a test in a situation in a game like this before you have the true test, which is the 5-game road trip coming up. But as it is, here's the Beacons in their offense. Cycling around the outside perimeter, Jacob Banks. Banks actually lead 3 goals across the last 3 games. He keeps it before shoveling it back out to Joe Myers. Myers, a distributor. He has scored 4 goals from the midfield position this season. Gavin Admiran, he loves that spot. Wow, an excuse me goal. And Owen McNichols cannot believe it for Plymouth State. Admiran is going to get credited with the goal. I think he was trying to pass to either Joe Myers or Michael Claflin, and it hit the inside leg of a defender and very slowly rolled past the goalie, Owen McNichols. He feigns the breaking the lacrosse stick motion. He's upset with himself, as he should have made that stop. But as it is, it's the 2nd goal of the contest for Gavin Admiran. He was our player to watch as we got this broadcast started. His 23rd of the season. And what we've expected has happened up to this point. Beacons leading 3-0, 7 minutes into the first quarter. So the Beacons with the 3-0 lead. Once again, if you're just tuning in, Beacons 6-0 on the season up against Plymouth State, a team 2-5 with a couple of heartbreaking losses already under their belt. Derek Fahey trying to get into the scoring action, and he does. Not much doing there in terms of the flow of the offense, opening anything up. So Fahey, he has that left-handed shot. He can go right-handed. He goes low and left-handed and skips it right past the goalie, Owen McNichols. And Owen McNichols, a very talented player between the pipes for Plymouth State, but he has let in 4 early goals, and 2 of them, no screeners, no nothing. He would probably want both of those back. So we're halfway through this first quarter of action. Plymouth State's going to call a timeout and talk it over as your Beacons up 4-0. It was Greg Wolf. He got the scoring started. Plymouth State won the opening faceoff and had a very long first possession. It ultimately resulted in a turnover, no goals. Finally, when the Beacons were able to go on offense 2 minutes in, they had a squandered possession too. But then a turnover at midfield led to a little bit of a setup behind the net, and then Greg Wolf right in front, as he normally does, his 15th goal of the season. Gavin Admiran, 2 quick-fire goals back-to-back to make the lead 3-0. And just now, Derek Fahey, I believe he's flirting with 20 goals on the season. That's his 17th of the year. And with 7:37 left to go here in this first quarter, the Beacons have a 4-0 lead. So Plymouth State, you don't know what you're going to get out of this team on a day-to-day basis. Their last game at Nichols College, they lost by 5, 7-12. That's the same team that the Beacons beat 11-10 to start the season. So Plymouth State breaks from their timeout. Panthers coached by head coach Mike Willis. He is in his 3rd season. This is his 20th career game as a head coach for the Plymouth State Panthers. He coached 3 games to finish the for the 2020 season before the COVID pandemic shut the season down. And then a 9-game season Plymouth State played in last year. This is the 8th game of the season for them, so the 20th game for Mike Willis as head coach. He is 7-12 in the 19 games he has coached up to this point for the Panthers. Panthers with the ball here after the Beacons' 4th goal of the first quarter. And some miscommunication there as they were trying to get it into the stick of Matt Miner normally very sure-handed. He likes to initiate the offense. Loose ball, and that was a ground ball for about 10 sustained seconds. The Beacons do win it. It's going to be a war on Plymouth State. Ball back to the Beacons, and Elijah Beasley, as he does, hustling across the center line into the offensive box. One of the best ball-moving midfielders for the Beacons. He can throw that body up against anybody and get it around the wing defender. So here we go, Beacons. They get it to Gavin Admiran from X, his most dangerous spot right there behind the net. Around the perimeter they go. Claflin over to Przinski. Donovan Przinski, the right-handed cradle. Nothing doing on the shot. He'll go all the way back to Derek Fahey. Fahey just scored his 17th goal in the season. Fakes right. Goes to the left hand. Rips a laser through the entire Plymouth State defense and finds Twine for his second goal of the afternoon. His 18th goal of the season. It's the usual suspects here. Gavin Admiran has 2. Derek Fahey has 2. Greg Wolf scored 1, his 15th of the season. And we're barely 8 minutes into this first quarter. The UMass Boston Beacons leading 5-0. The good times just keep on rolling. This is a team that is 6-0. They just came back, took down nationally ranked Southwestern University in their building in Texas before beating Hendrix College the next day. This is their first conference game of the season and off to the best start possible here this afternoon, leading 5-0. They win the faceoff again. You see that a lot with Jack Dobrinsky. He is still over 75% on the season in terms of faceoff wins, so the Beacons once again a goal, and they can settle down and restart their offense. Luke Murphy coming in from the backside. That ball was loose for a couple of seconds. He picks up the ground ball and decides he'll run around here, maybe kill some clock, and he'll decide to dodge on in to initiate the Beacons offense here. Murphy maybe thought about that shot. He couldn't get the right angle with the right hand. He'll go back to Greg Wolf. Wolf, 15 goals on the season. He's yet to record an assist. He was trying to shovel that pass off to Murphy. Obviously, you don't get mad about that in the slightest when you have a player that scores 15 goals. Hey, keep shooting, keep scoring. I think Coach Lau wants that to be the recipe for success for Greg Wolf. You have a player that's just worried about scoring, doesn't need to distribute, and he's done exactly that. Now, that is a ill-timed, ill-advised pass from Owen McNichols to nobody in particular. Justin McCullough running with it for the Beaks. McCullough down low to Admiran. It skips away off the cradle from Admiran. He picks it up before it goes out of bounds and once again looks to initiate the offense from behind the net. Beacons up 5-0. The good times still rolling here for the Beaks as they're trying to get their 7th straight win to start the 2021-2022 campaign. Admiran back to Charlie Chapman. He has 3 goals on the season from the midfield spot. He looks as he dodges in, and a great save by Owen McNichols. That's his first save of the afternoon. He was tested there on the high-low shot from Chapman. That's going to be a flag 100 times out of 100. I think everyone up here in the press box, we saw Chad Kidd. He had a head full of steam, big number 34. I don't know if he was upset about not scooping up that ground ball in the midfield round, but he delivers the boom to that was... He's running away from us here, but I think that was number 28. I think that was Minor. So, welcome to the action, freshman Matt Minor. You might have 18 points on the season for Plymouth State, but you got to deal with Chad Kidd coming across the middle. That's going to be an interference penalty against Kidd, and this is the first man-up opportunity today. Plymouth State, a very solid team around midfield, not too solid in man-up or man-down scenarios. They've only scored 19% of the time with a man-up. In contrast, they've allowed their opponent to score 29% of the time on man-up opportunities. The Beacons, by comparison, score on 33.5% of their man-up opportunities. So not the crispest power play here, as that shot almost tucked underneath the crossbar from Matt Minor. It goes outside and wide. But the Panthers, good start to their man-up opportunity there as they deliver a look right in the near slot, but it goes just wide. Right back at it from the stoppage of play and turning the ball over. That's Matt Minor. No, pardon me. That's actually further up the field. That was Aiden O'Laughlin. Not normally responsible for cradling. He tried to get it to Carl Flinter. It skips out of bounds. It's another turnover. Ripped shot from the wing from Michael Claflin. Hadn't called his name too much today. His shot goes wide. It was on target, just wide. Chased after by Greg Wolf. Beacon still with a man down here trying to kill off some time on this Chad Kidd penalty. It looks to be a full 60-second man-up opportunity for the Panthers. So Donovan Przinski, he'll take the assignment to just kill off some time here. has to fight off the Mark Iamili defense. But they got something here as Gavin Admiran fakes low, goes high, and the Beacons find Twine with a man down. Gavin Admiran, the scoring machine, and it is a well-oiled machine. That's a hat trick already, and his 24th goal of the season. 10 minutes, 49 seconds into this first quarter, and the Beacons lead 6-0. I say the Beacons, they have a quartet of offensive players that you can always count on to find the target. 3 of them have already scored. Claflin is not yet, but between Wolf, Admiran, Fahey, and Claflin, you were looking at almost 80 goals combined, and those are 3 players have combined for 6 already here. Finally, Plymouth State wins a faceoff. They needed that badly, and it's Jack Bonazali doing the D. Slings a pass over to his teammate, midfielder linemate Joey Lober, number 31. Lober got all the way in from the long stick midi position. He got a shot off on Trevor Copy, missed it wide into the left. Panthers were the closest to the ball, so they'll reset on offense, and it's Mike Fleury. Big-bodied left-hander. He's going to fake the shot, fire it, and that one gets saved by Trevor Copy. He actually threw, that was, the shaft of the stick got that ball right in between his hands. Missed it with the net, but it just hit the middle of the stick. It skips out of bounds. It'll stay with Plymouth State, and Matt Miner goes back to work, dodging from the corner. He'll hand it off to his midfield mate, Nick Drew, who will dodge from X. Drew, 15 assists on the season with just 5 goals. But he's a big catalyst for this Plymouth State offense. Looks across field, Mike Fleury, cradling with the left-handed cradle. Wow, goes for it. I like where his head was at there with the behind-the-back shot, but that found nothing. And it is Plymouth State ball maintaining possession as they were closest to it. But Fleury, that's one he'll want back. Miner diving in. He tries to go for the slam dunk shot, scooping around the crease. Instead, that one gets saved by Copy. And now this ball bounding back across the midfield line. It'll be an over and back out of the zone. Turnover for the Panthers, and the Beacons still yet to allow a goal. Only really a couple of shots on goal so far out of this Plymouth State offense, and here come the Beaks up 6-0, 3 minutes left in the first quarter with a chance to further this lead. Joe Myers, he has 4 goals on the season, tries to bounce a pass through to Gavin Admiran. That would have been very crafty. It doesn't get through. Instead, it is flushed out of the way by Owen McNichols. I don't know if that'll go down as a save, but Owen was beaten on the first 5 shot attempts by the Beaks before making 2 saves. Admiran's goal then, the 6th goal for the Beacons, that was after a couple of McNichols saves. He got into the ball handling efforts there. Another turnover in the middle of the field. Here's Charlie Chapman. He is very good at dodging those added midfielders. So now he's the added attacker, and the Beacons settling into a 5-on-5 offensive look. Greg Wolf. He has a left-handed shot. He likes to go low with the left-handed shot. He does it just then, and a very nice save by Owen McNichols staying home, cutting off the low angle. Wolf likes to shoot low and keep it low. Sometimes you have those left-handed shots in lacrosse that go low, and they go low to high. Wolf likes to tuck the ball low. McNichols knew that scouting report. He got in front of it and stopped it. Now, rush from the long stick. Coming in is Plymouth State, and wow, that's going to count as a goal for big number 42. Or no, that's not Carl Flinter. It's a number starting with a 4. Not a player normally in on the offensive attack. It's number 43, Zach Gilvar. So how about that? A player I don't think he has scored yet on the season for Plymouth State. He was trying to shovel it over to his attack mate, Mike Miner, but it's Zach Gilvar, his first goal of the season for number 43. He scores it 13 minutes and 12 seconds into the first quarter, and Plymouth State, a quarter that they're going to want to forget, but they are able to put 1 goal into their first quarter numbers, and it comes from Zach Gilvar, freshman defender out of Stratham, New Hampshire. And just like that, all the momentum right back to the Beacons as number 33 jets Jason McNeely for the first time. Now, he was in on a lot of offensive action at the end of the win against UNE, but McNeely coming in off the face-off win, and just like that, Beacons back on the scoreboard. It's his first of the year. It's the Beacons' 7th. And we're still early in this contest, but it's safe to say this is a game that it's the Beacons' game to lose. They're up 7-0 now. McNeely, his first of the season. That was just 10 seconds after the Gilvar goal. Another face-off win for McNeely. He's the team's 2nd-string face-off man. He gets tripped up there, almost dispossessed. Very crafty play by Michael Claflin to pick it up and drawing the penalty. Well, actually, it's going to be an offsides penalty on the Beacons. I thought Claflin was able to draw the penalty on the Panthers defense as it is ball back to Plymouth State. If you're just tuning in, welcome. My name is Chris Del Sordo, calling the action for you today on the Beacons Broadcasting Network on LEC TV. This is the LEC conference opener for your UMass Boston Beacons and the Plymouth State Panthers. Beacons 6-0 on the season and comfortably leading 7-1. 3 Gavin Admiran goals already, 2 from Derek Fahey, a goal from Greg Wolf, and a goal from Jason McNeamy, his first of the season, have the Beacons leading comfortably 7-1. Zach Gilvar's first goal of the season scored as well, the lone goal for Plymouth State on a broken play. It was probably an attempted pass that got through. Patrick Carey applying the pressure, and he's going to win that ground ball. Another caused turnover for PC, and he looks ahead to his brother-in-arms, Patrick Colbert. Colbert fending off the defender with the body. That's Nolan Burke trying to apply the pressure. He's giving up some size there. Colbert in the middle to Elijah Beasley. Beasley over to Claflin. Ball kind of kicked around a bit, but Claflin picks it up, scoops his cradle. 34 seconds left in this first quarter. Beacons leading by 6, trying to stretch it out to 7. It would be their largest lead of the game if they can score a goal before the end of the quarter. 26 seconds on a running clock. Donovan Przinski in the middle to Greg Wolf. He gets cut off by 2 Panthers. He's able to maintain his cradle, picks the ball up from his knees, and finally loses it with 15 seconds left in the first quarter. Wow, that would have been a heroic individual effort by Greg Wolf if he could have gotten a shot off there. As it is, this is number 31, Joey Lober, cut off along the wing. 5 seconds left, and another turnover from the Panthers. 2 seconds left on the clock, and I don't think the Beacons are going to get a shot off here. But when this final whistle rings, well, let's see. Here's the inbounds in towards the net. Intercepted right in front of the net, and that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. So the horn sounds, and the Beacons are up comfortably 7-1. We'll take a quick break and come right back with quarter number 2 after this on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Joining you back high atop James Cotter Field on the campus of Boston College High. My name is Chris Del Sordo here with the Beacon Broadcasting Network. Your UMass Boston Beacons are comfortably out in front 7-1 after a first quarter that saw 4 different Beacons score, including Jason McNeamy finding the twine for his first goal of the season. Greg Wolf got it started. Gavin Admirand already with a hat trick, the 2-time returning LEC Player of the Week. Derek Fahey, his 17th and 18th goals of the season, and then Jason McNeamy, his first of the year. 1 goal for Plymouth State on a rather broken play post faceoff, and it was 2-on-1 with the defender Zach Gilvar and his midfield mate Matt Miner. And on an attempted pass to Miner, the ball hits the stick of goalie Trevor Coppy and gets through. So that'll be a goal credited to Gilvar, his first of the season, the 1 goal Plymouth State has scored so far. UMass Boston has won all but 2 face-offs already in this contest. They win another one to get this quarter started, and they will start the second quarter on offense. Beacons going right to left on your computer screen in their home white jerseys with black numerals and trim. Plymouth State in their road black on blacks. They have green numerals that are surrounded by white trim, which makes it slightly easier for me to see the numbers, but not the best setup for these Plymouth State Panther uniforms. White on black, simple enough. Beacons really had a 2-man game working there, and they had a look, but miscommunication leads to a turnover. But how about this heads-up play by Luke Murphy? He'll pick it back up himself, and here comes Murph, one-on-one, dodging shot, and he just misses it near side to the right. Luke Murphy, a heads-up play, as that ball was just getting kicked around the midfield area. The Beacons, you don't normally see Michael Claflin commit the turnover like that. He lost the ball, and as it was getting brought back upfield by number 31, Joey Lober, he got dispossessed from Murphy, and Luke almost found the net for his 4th goal of the season. As it is, Beacons back on defense, but holding court with a 6-goal lead. Getting our first look at Sean Kala in at the long stick midfielder position. He fronts the Panthers attacker Declan Alexander. Alexander, a junior out of Beverly, Mass., looks to slide a pass over to Mitchell Privé. Privé gets dispossessed. This one picked up by the goalie, Trevor Copy, and now Trevor Copy doing it himself, taking it out of trouble, going across field to Sean Kala, over to Derek Fahey, and the Beacons do get that out of trouble, thanks to the ball handling skills of their goalie. Good defense from Panthers number 7, Mark Iamili. That is what he is on the field to do. Iamili on the season, 8 caused turnovers. He scooped 21 ground balls. He forced the turnover there. That is actually his 2nd of the day. So 10 caused turnovers for big number 7, Mike Iamili. And the first quarter didn't get off to that quick of a start. It took us 3.5 minutes to see our first goal. Similar here, as both teams getting their legs under them at the start of the second quarter. One timeout called in the first quarter. It was by Plymouth State, and immediately after that timeout, the Beacons were able to score. So, not the best in terms of what they drew up. And how about this? A lapse in concentration by Joey Lober. He is having a game to forget, the freshman out of Chelmsford, Mass. That's his 3rd turnover, actually, already of the afternoon, and that was caused by him not knowing how close he was to the midfield line. Too many players as he backtracked across the midfield line. I have that as the 6th turnover already for the Panthers, and the Beacons calmly around the perimeter they go, looking for that lane to open up. Przinski creates the lane himself as he just drives in through the Panthers defense. Got the shot off before he hit the crease. He misses low into the right. But Donovan Przinski, along with Charlie Chapman, number 3 and number 4, those two are 2 excellent players, starting the offense from far away from the crease, dodging through that first wave of midfield defenders. So that shot goes wide by Przinski, but the Beacons restarting their offensive attack with Greg Wolf. He looks to Przinski in the alley. That pass is high for Chapman. He tries to go behind the back to Claflin. Claflin doesn't field it cleanly, but Admiran does. Now a 2-man game. Claflin, I think he faked the behind the back shot. He kept it as a threat. That's going to be a penalty against Plymouth State, so now the Beacons can hold here. You don't get the man up until after the stoppage in play, and the Beacons don't need the man up at all. It's Donovan Przinski loading it up and getting the first goal of the second quarter. It puts the Beacons up 8-1. That is their largest lead of the afternoon, a 7-goal lead. For Przinski, it's his 6th goal on the season to go along with 6 assists. He now has 12 points. Once again, the Beacons are up 8-1. And just talked about how proficient Donovan Przinski was at starting the offense from really the farther reaches of the offensive zone and getting it deep in towards the crease. That time he was the recipient of a well-drawn-up play. He's not normally there to be the shooter, but he found the target that time. Przinski scores his 1st of the game, his 6th of the season, and the Beacons, their largest lead of the afternoon is 7, and they want to keep the good times rolling here. They're up 8-1. This is an undefeated team that at this point here, you're trying to make a statement every minute of every game you play. Face-off won backwards by Plymouth State. That's their 3rd face-off win of the season. But this is a conference game against an opponent that you were expected to beat, and right now you're taking care of business, up 8-1. So what you really need to do at this point is make sure that any national eyes watching you will see just how dominant you truly are. And so I think the Beacons, this might be a game where you really see Coach Lau and the boys trying to, I don't want to say run up the score, but create as big of a goal differential as possible. I guess that's the nice PC way to put it. Beacons are up 8-1 right now. This is the 2nd timeout called by Plymouth State. And it looks like they are asking the refs to take a look at a stick for a player on UMass Boston. You get this every now and then, checking the legality of the net of the stick. There is a depth limit. You can't have your pocket be too deep and have a ball be able to sit in the net without it getting cradled. And so that is what the referees are checking right now. I don't think that's why the timeout was called. I believe this is just the second timeout called of this first half for Plymouth State. And so if we have our cameras pointed towards that right now, the referees, they're still trying to figure out the legality of the stick or not. And heading it over this way here, so somebody is going to get a talking to. I'm not sure if it's a player on UMass Boston or on Plymouth State, but one of the sticks being used in this game. Okay, so Fahey gets his back, so his is fine, and the stick laid on the ground. So both of the two sticks in question are legal. Now, where we're at in the game, I'm not sure if that would have resulted in a penalty or a player just actually not being able to continue, or just the stick getting discarded. But as we are, everything's legal. We're returning from the timeout action. The Beacons are up 8-1, and they will see where the action is right now. No, it will be Plymouth State starting with the ball as we return to action here in the second quarter. Just barely 4 minutes into the second quarter, and not a lot of offense in the first 4 minutes of this quarter. New long stick defender coming back out, Mark Iamili. He switched between his role on the team as both a true defender, a long stick midi, and then a true midfielder. Today he looks to be just playing true defense back there for the Panthers. Nolan Burke, very talented midfielder for the Panthers, holding it, waiting for the go-ahead. He gets the whistle, and we're back underway, and he feels a two-man pressure from Jack Ranta and Patrick Carey, and Ranta dispossesses him from the ball. Carey picks it up, and the Beacons are out of harm's way, and now here's Luke Murphy, has Derek Fahey cutting right through the middle of the field, into the alley, over to Greg Wolf. He tried to shovel the pass back to Fahey. It goes too high, giving chase was Michael Claflin. And it will be called a pass turnover for the Beacons. You can see the body language, not that great from the Beacons after Wolf lost that one. They had something there off of Fahey's hustle. Didn't turn into anything. And the Beacons a costly turnover. Not the crispest start to the second quarter. They do have one goal. They also have committed 3 turnovers in the first 4.5 minutes of quarter number 2. Joey Lober feeling the pressure of the Beacons defense, and he does commit another turnover as Gavin Admiran slips into the midfield to pick up that loose ball. Tried to feed it through the Panthers defense to Greg Wolf right in front of the crease. That one goes wide, and I just said they committed their third turnover. How about turnover number 4 in this second quarter for the Beacons? 4 turnovers in the first quarter, already 4 turnovers in the second quarter for the Beaks. They have 8 so far. Those numbers, though, not any prettier for Plymouth State. They have already committed 15 turnovers in this game. Now, Plymouth State, looking at the numbers coming into the action today, was actually a very efficient, very crisp team in the midfield area. They don't commit as many turnovers as their opponents. They cause more turnovers than their opponents. But today, very sloppy. And that Beacons midfield unit, it's a rather chaotic bunch. They come and attack you. They're very deep. And they're causing problems with the ball in midfield for Plymouth State here. Gavin Admiran at his most dangerous spot on the field. He fields the double team. It's one-on-one. He got around Owen McNichols, and McNichols did a phenomenal job cutting off the angle from the all-everything scorer, Gavin Admiran. He had him beat footwork. He couldn't beat him around with the shot angle. And so now the Beacons have to reset their offense from all the way back at midfield. Chapman over to Murphy. Murphy cradles right-handed. Gets inside, hits the post. Chapman scoops the rebound, and a save by Owen McNichols. Wow, back-to-back stops, I guess you could say, for Plymouth State. The crossbar stopped the first shot from Murphy. The stick of McNichols stops the second shot from Chapman. And the Beacons, 3 juicy opportunities in the past minute to extend this 8-1 lead. They get cut off all 3 times. And now the Panthers, hanging in this game as best they can, trying to just put together a productive offensive possession. Nolan Burke switches to the left-handed cradle. Not that big, just 5'9", 150. That one almost got through Trevor Coppy on the jump shot attempt, but Coppy chases it off the side of the net. And now the Beacons back the other way. Matt Palin Oh, big hit in the middle of the field felt by Robert Sprague. That is going to be a penalty flag thrown as that was right in front of the net. Probably an interference call there as you had two players not normally involved in the Beacons attack. Number 7, Matt Palin. Number 43, Robert Sprague. If Sprague didn't feel that penalty, he was going to get a clean shot right in the shooting alley in front of the crease. And so this is the first time the Beacons have a man-up opportunity. We're 8:44 left in the second quarter, which means we are already 21 and a half minutes into this game. On average, you see each team usually commit about 5 or 6 penalties a game. 1 penalty committed by the Beaks, 1 penalty committed by the Panthers. The Beacons scored with a man down. So no man-up goals for the Panthers in that one opportunity, but when they had the man up, it was the Beacons that actually scored a goal with the man down. Here they go with the man up. Fahey on the X. Goes out to Chapman. Chapman winds, fires, and the man up goal for Charlie Chapman. He is the 8th Beacon with 5 or more goals on the season now. That is his 5th on the season, and that was beautiful. Fahey took all the time he needed. They had the man up. You knew that there would be somebody back in that midfield wave of attackers. So Fahey didn't force anything. He slid it over to Chapman. Charlie with a big, high right-handed shot, and he stayed high with it. He beats McNichols, and the Beacons up 9-1. Their lead is 8. That's their largest of the contest. Greg Wolf scored the first goal. Gavin Admiran the next 2. Fahey 2 after that, and then Admiran scoring the 6th goal to get his hat trick, making it 6-1. Zach Gilvar, his first goal of the season, or making it 6-0. Then Zach Gilvar, his first goal of the season for Plymouth State, made it 6-1. Jason McNeely, Donovan Przinski, Charlie Chapman, in that order, and it's 9-1 Beaks. 8 minutes left in this second quarter. We're 22 minutes into this first half. Everything coming up the way of the Beacons so far here at Cotter Field. Cross-course pass to Minor. Nothing there in terms of numbers, so he'll retreat all the way back to the 30-yard line in the football numbers before spinning back. This is Liam Brown, actually, with the ball in his cradle. He's one of the big 6 offensively for Plymouth State. 85% shot on goal percentage. His shots find the target, working on the wing. Here's Liam Brown, still with it. He switches to the right-handed cradle. Getting fronted by Sean Kala. Good individual defensive performance for Kala so far. Number 35, the long stick midi. Swings the pass over. Brilliant save by Trevor Coppy as Carl Flinter tried to beat Coppy low to high. Coppy stays with it. Another save. And Trevor Coppy in his junior season, one of the most talented players for the Beaks, one of the most consistent performers. It's his job. He made the stop there. That's Gil Delvey into the action on the Beacons' midfield attack. The pass tried to get over to Gavin Admiran. He couldn't reach up and haul it down. And that's the 5th turnover of the second quarter already for the Beacons. They have 9 in today's game. That ball almost loose there in midfield, finally scooped up by Declan Alexander. But the Panthers treading water here. Down 9-1 to your UMass Boston Beacons. Plymouth State 2-5 on the season. And honestly, looking a bit like a 2-win team in the early minutes of this contest. Number 36, Shea Clark with it. Doesn't see much action for the Panthers. The freshman out of Woburn, Mass. Nolan Burke from Clark to Mike Fleury in the middle, and that one hits the post. He beat Trevor Coppy, but it hits the right post, and the Beacons get a break there. Mike Fleury, very talented hockey player as well. One of the leading offensive forces for the Panthers hockey team, as well as the lacrosse team. That was his 2nd rip on net. That was the 2nd time that a Mike Fleury shot has hit the post this afternoon. Nolan Burke, he's been far away from the net a lot today. He can create a lot of offense, but not 20 yards from the net. He's pestered on the play by that's Jack Ranta. Ranta still fronting Burke. He finally makes it, give it up to Fleury. Fleury, feigning that left-handed shot, keeps his left-handed cradle, uses that big body to create some space. Shot misses wide into the left, but it'll stay with Plymouth State behind the net. 5 minutes, 25 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Beacons up comfortably 9-1, and a great defensive effort by Gil Delvey, and that pass skips all the way out to the left side of the net. Panthers had a 2-on-1 opportunity there. Del Valle was treading water, really, with his responsibilities to play defense on 2 Panthers at once. He got his stick on the ball. It gets kicked out by the goalie, Copy, and the Beacons able to force a stop here. So now here's Fleury. No angle. Gets pushed away by Matt Palin. Rips one right into the waiting stick of Trevor Copy, and his phenomenal afternoon continues. 7 saves for the junior. He's allowed just 1 goal, and the Beacons rolling through the midfield, up 9-1. Del Valle from Carey into the middle. Oh, to Admiran, and he goes behind the back. What a highlight play. Del Valle with the pass. Admiran reaches up, goes over the shoulder and behind the back, and that is a highlight play if you've ever seen one. Gil Del Valle to Gavin Admiran for his 4th of the afternoon. The Beacons are in double digits, winning 10-1. And hey, cautious optimism, very, very good to bring around these parts right now. I think you could just be optimistic for the outlook of this Beacons lacrosse team. 6 wins to start the season, and now up 10-1 over the Plymouth State Panthers. Admiran's 4th of the afternoon, his 25th of the season. Beacons win the face-off, but they lose at midfield. Here come the Panthers pushing it ahead. Wide open look down low, and that is going to be a goal deposited into the back of the net by Matt Miner. 2nd goal of the afternoon for the Panthers. Matt Miner's first. Miner, a very talented youngster, true freshman. That is his 14th goal of the season. And finally, Panthers are able to notch a number onto the scoreboard. So 9. That's the number. That's the largest lead up to this point. Beacons led 10-1. The lead is now 10-2. No more McNeely in the face-off circle. It's going to be Jack Dobrinsky. He will be called for the face-off infraction. So the Panthers waiting for the heads up. They will start this possession with the ball. And the official ruling goes against Dobrinsky right there. So if you're just joining us, you've missed some scoring, but you haven't missed really a tightly contested game. Score right now 10-2 Beacons. Gavin Admiran 4. Derek Fahey with 2. Wolf, Pravinsky, Chapman, and McNeely, all with goals for the Beacons as well. Panthers trying to force an effort, and another shot going just wide. Trevor Copy, he's been standing tall in the net. A lot of close misses for the Panthers. 3 shots have hit the post, 2 have hit the side of the net. But the Beacons take care of business there, and oh, Gavin Admiran, sneaky attempt to a cutting Jacob Banks. 23, Jacob Banks sliding through there. And Admiran almost threaded the needle on what would have been just another highlight play to add to his already impressive day. Gavin Admiran, 4 goals on the afternoon, 25 goals on the season. Patrick Carey, big defensive effort cutting off Nolan Burke, and he actually knocks the ball from him, dispossessed. And here comes Patrick Carey. He has 4 goals from that long stick midi position over to Gil Del Valle. Del Valle to Claflin, to Admiran, to Banks. Tic-tac-toe. That went Del Valle, Claflin, Admiran, Banks in about 2 seconds. 4 different Beacons get their sticks on the ball, and another goal for the Beaks. This time it's Jacob Banks. He scored his first 2 goals of the season 2 weeks ago in our game in the rain and snow against the University of New England. He gets his 3rd of the year, and the Beacons back up 9, tying their largest lead of the afternoon. The score is 11-2. The Beacons have a couple of big wins under their belt so far this season. They won 19-7 against the University of New England, 16-8 against LaSalle University. As this one's last touch by the Beaks, ball will stay with Plymouth State. But this right now shaping up to be something even past that, as the Beaks lead 11-2. You have the usual suspects in terms of Gavin Admiran scoring 4 and Derek Fahey with 2. But then 5 different goal scorers, all from the midfield of the Beacons offense. Greg Wolf, Jason McNeely, Donovan Przinski, Charlie Chapman, and most recently, Jacob Banks. This is Ryan Hanlon. Talented youngster, 4 points on the season for Plymouth State. He goes to the X, where he takes on Elijah Beasley. He can't get a shot around Beasley. Instead, they go back up to the point. Liam Brown from straight on into the alley. Working against Chad Kidd. Kidd cuts him off. Now Brown getting fronted on the play by Sean Kalat. Kalat, who's had a great day so far, dispossesses him from the ball. Brown able to pick it back up. Pass behind the net to Minor. Minor to the top of the key. Shot, score. Wow, beautiful high to low finish with the left hand. Those dark numbers, I couldn't quite tell who that was. It looks to be number 23, Cam O'Shaughnessy. How about that? So that's a player whose brother is a freshman, gets a little bit more time. No, I'm sorry. That it's not 23, it's 26, so that makes a bit more sense. So O'Shaughnessy doesn't see a lot of playing time. That's Liam Brown getting his 5th goal of the season for the Panthers, his first of the afternoon. Panthers with their 3rd goal, just trying to claw back and keep this as close as possible. Score, Beacons 11, Panthers 3. But the Beacons win another faceoff. In front of the net they go, shoveling at it was Jacob Banks, and finally Owen McNichols is able to cover up the ball deep in the crease. That was almost disaster for the Panthers, who already let one rather shaky goal get through on the second of Gavin Admirand's 4 goals. That was a product of miscommunication. They ultimately keep possession here, and now here's Aiden O'Loughlin dodging all the way through from the midfield position. He takes a spill, almost got the shot off, I believe. So I thought that was a crease warning against O'Loughlin. Instead, it's going to be a penalty against the Beacons. Possession stays with the Panthers in the offensive zone. We are under 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Beacons 11, Panthers 3. And back deep in the corner with it is Panthers midfielder Nick Drew. Nick Drew, the distributor on offense for the Panthers. 3 times as many assists as goals. He has 15 assists to go along with 5 goals this season. Goes across field. Trying to spin into some room is Mike Fleury. Fleury's being pestered by Murphy. Not the best afternoon for Fleury from the offensive attack. He gets dispossessed and a very late whistle. That's the second time that the Beacons thought they had forced the turnover, only for the whistle to be blown late. And possession is stay in the Plymouth State zone. Panthers down 8. Beacons' largest lead of the afternoon has been 9. They've had 2 separate 9-goal leads. One-on-one play from behind the net. Back out to the alley they go. Fleury, now on the right-handed cradle. Fields a pick, nothing doing. Working against Murphy, no angle. He decides to duck that body inside, go up and under. The shot saved by Trevor Coppy, his 8th save already. Didn't expect Coppy to maybe be as busy as he has been today, but he hasn't felt too much trouble. 8 saves, and now his second time bringing the ball across the midfield logo. Here come the Beaks. 53 seconds on a running clock, leading by 8. Michael Claflin, really yet to get involved too much today. They haven't needed him. Team's second leading scorer in terms of total points up to this point in the season. 40 seconds. Here comes Mick Flynn. He's got 4 goals on the year. Over to Donovan Brzezinski. To Colin Ford. Ford switches to the left hand. He'll take it back to the X and give it to Admirand. Admirand, surveying, finds a cutting. Wow, that's a great look on the play from Mick Flynn. Flynn's shot is blocked, though. Great eyes from Gavin Admirand to get it over to Flynn. Ford's pass gets blocked. Picked up by Flynn. Getting pestered on the play by the Panthers defense. I think Flynn might have gotten called for the slash. That'll be a turnover off the Panthers. It'll stay with the Beacons. So you have 11 and a half seconds left here. So basically you want to draw up just one good look at a shot on net right before the horn. They loft the cross-court pass to Brzezinski. Here comes Donovan. 6 seconds. 5. Right-handed dodge. He spins. Looks back toward the middle for a pass into Ford. And the shot goes just wide. It's blocked away by McNichols right as the halftime horn sounds. So the Beacons applying the pressure to the final minutes of this first half. They've applied quite a bit of pressure so far this afternoon, and it's paid off. We've reached halftime here at James Conner Field. The UMass Boston Beacons 11, the Plymouth State Panthers 3. We'll take our halftime break. We will be back with a third quarter in about 15 minutes from here at Conner Field. Or pardon me, 10-minute halftime. So we'll be back with the start of the third quarter in about 10 minutes here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. And we join you back here high atop James Cotter Field. The Beacons up 11-3 through 30 minutes of lacrosse. They win the face-off and they start on the attack here as we get the third quarter started at BC High. Beacons 6-0 on this season, vying for their 7th straight win before a 5-game road trip and firing on all cylinders, to put it bluntly. 4 goals for Gavin Admiran, 2 for Derek Fahey, 5 other Beacons adding a goal. The Beacons had a 9-goal lead 2 separate times. They lead by 8 as we start the third quarter here. And Michael Claflin, who did not get in on the offensive action much in the first half, rips one there that just misses the net. High and wide to the right. Gavin Admiran right back there with the ball, and the Beacons back underway with Derek Fahey dodging in from the left wing. Fahey, cross court to Wolf. Wolf gets dispossessed. That's a very good defensive play by Panthers number 31. Or pardon me, 31, Joey Lober. Lober, not the best opening quarter of the game, but he's since picked it up towards the end of the second quarter. Another good clear for them. The Beacons, speaking of clears, 16 clears in 17 opportunities. You will win every lacrosse game you play if you can pull that off. And how about Joey Lober getting it done himself? The Panthers will start off the second half with the first goal as Joey Lober was able to get the clear, take it through everyone. And the super talented defender has his, I believe, first goal of the year. The sneak any behind us. Yeah, first goal, first point. He did it himself. An unassisted goal by Joey Lober. It makes it 11-4. And 7-goal gap, that's the closest the Panthers have had it in about 10 minutes of action. He scores 1:05 into the third quarter. And the Panthers back to within 7. It is 11-4. Taking a look at some more of the first half numbers, as this time the Beacons cleanly win the face-off. And they'll have a man-up opportunity. 16 of 17 clears for the Beaks, 10 of 14 on clearing opportunities for Plymouth State. Both teams each won 9 face-offs, so it was very even in the face-off circle. The Panthers committed 17 turnovers. 8 of them were forced by the Beacons' defense. The Beacons committed 13 turnovers. 6 of them were forced by the Panthers, and both teams each with 2 penalties committed in the first half. So really a lot of similarities. The only difference is the execution. 11 first half goals for the Beaks, 3 for the Panthers. The Panthers strike first in this third quarter, but the Beacons back on offense and awaiting this penalty call. It's going to go against, I think that's Jake Dulcimascolo. So that is who the penalty is going to be called against, and it is going to be a man-up opportunity for the Beaks. So Dulcimascolo must have just entered the action, the junior out of Georgetown, Massachusetts. He gets called for the penalty. The Beacons have had 1 man-up opportunity. They scored. They also had a man-down opportunity that they scored on. So situational plays working for the Beaks. Holding a 7-goal lead here. Although the Panthers, with the momentum, they've scored the last 2 goals in this contest. It was 11-2. Chapman's shot gets deflected out in front. It goes wide, but Fahey the closest to it. So the Beacons with 61 seconds on the shot clock, they'll get to reset their offense. Fahey over to Claflin. Michael Claflin along the left side wing over to Donovan Przinski. He's already scored once today. That shot goes a little high. Owen McNichols still in net for the Panthers. He's their best option in goal. He let 11 goals get past him in the first half. Let's see how long of a leash he's on as the Beaks back at it. Przinski again almost got through. Somehow McNichols was able to bend the stick back, I believe. And able to keep it from crossing the goal line. That's impressive. So here's Liam Brown. He scored his 5th goal of the season right before halftime. Panthers looking good. Made some halftime adjustments. Flag flies in from the right sideline. Panthers still playing a man down here after the Dulce Damascolo penalty. They almost lose it at midfield. But around the outside they go. And walking it back to the X is going to be Liam Brown. Penalty is over. We're back to even strength lacrosse. And remember, there's going to be a penalty, a delayed penalty after this stoppage in play. So can the Panthers take advantage of this? Back to within 7. That shot blocked by Copy. His 9th save of the day. And then he is able to go over and track down the ball. It'll be a stoppage in play because there is a penalty upcoming against the Beaks. But a great job by Trevor Copy, who is having one of his best games of the year in net for the Beaks. Got that ball out of trouble. And now the Beacons are going to have a full minute of man-down lacrosse trying to ward off this Panthers attack. Nolan Burke with it. He'll dodge in. Fighting one-on-one against Jack Ranta. Ranta with that effort causes Burke to dispossess. Oh, wow, and yeah, he loses it. And not winning the race in time back to the ball is Plymouth State. I couldn't quite tell who the midfielder was back there that pass was intended for, but a huge blown opportunity. And now, Luke Murphy, no one you'd rather see with the ball in his hands, trying to burn off the clock of this full minute man-down possession. Murphy gets right past the midfield defense, and now he has some room to work with across the midfield line. Still going, just having a casual stroll here. 4 different Panthers are trying to dispossess him. They can't do it. And now here's Greg Wolf. Maybe thought about setting up the offensive attack. Instead, they're just going to keep killing some clock here. Wolf, wow, just throws the shoulder right into the Panthers defender, and then not creative enough. He decided to just try and go high. He could have done anything he wanted. And another save from Owen McNichol. I think Wolf, you know he wants that one back. Now here's Burke. He just turned the ball over at a key spot the last time. That shot is saved by Trevor Coppy, picked up by Justin McCullough. He'll get it out of trouble. Ahead to Patrick Carey. Oh, well, an adventure there from Carey, but he does scoop it up. And into the offensive zone we go. Carey, he already has 3 goals on the season as a defender. He'll swing it over to Greg Wolf. Wolf, once again, he uses that big, tall body to his advantage. Goes back to Joe Myers. Penalty almost over as Przinski back onto the field. So now we're back at even strength lacrosse here. The Beacons, another man-up opportunity killed off against Plymouth State. We said Plymouth State not that good on special teams. They failed to score on 2 separate man-up opportunities. And now here's Joe Myers taking his time, probing around the perimeter of this Plymouth State defense. Donovan Przinski, he scored already today, created a couple of other opportunities. He goes and passes it behind the net to Myers. Myers, from the X, spinning, slides a pass over to Claflin. Claflin, the ripped angle shot, it goes wide to the left. But that's Zach Mann closest to the ball, and so once again the Beacons will reset. No goals yet in this third quarter for the Beaks. We're 5 minutes into quarter number 3. Beacons at one point led this game 11-2. Last 2 goals of this contest, scored by the Panthers. But here comes Donovan Przinski, trying to end that little streak there. His pass tipped out of his stick by Mark Iamili, who's having a phenomenal game on defense for the Panthers. Picked up by the goalie Owen McNichols. And back on offense come the Panthers here. Definitely their third quarter in terms of momentum. But a nice play by Sean Culla dispossesses the ball carrier. That was Mark Hersham, the long stick midi. He couldn't get it cleanly. Culla delivers a blow. The ball carrying all around midfield. It finally finds the stick of Miner, but he gets dispossessed on the play by McCullough. McCullough shoveling it forward. Can't find it. Now he does. He avoids the ward, and now the Beacons are going to earn themselves a man-up opportunity right now. Wow, that was just a chaotic minute of play. Number 35, Sean Culla, the freshman out of Norfolk, Massachusetts, made that happen. Was able to win 2 separate ground balls, along with Justin McCullough, number 26. They kept the action alive. They draw the penalty. We're going to wait and see. It'll be against number 45, Mitchell Privé. Privé, a senior out of Hampton, New Hampshire. He sits in the sin bin. The Beacons, 2 man-up goals and a man-down goal already today. Can they have their 4th differential goal? Myers and Claflin work a little 2-man game along the left side of the alley. Into Admiran. Admiran rips it. He wastes no time. Yes, they do take advantage. Gavin Admiran with the goal, his 5th of the afternoon. His 26th of the season, and the Beacons back up 8. They let Plymouth State run the flow of play there for the past 6 minutes, but finally, with a man up, they take advantage, and it's Gavin Admiran from Michael Claflin, and the Beacons back up by 8. It's 12-4. That's what the Beacons needed right there. About 15 seconds into the man-up opportunity, 3 different man-up goals for the Beacons, and you love to see that. You don't want to call Plymouth State an inferior opponent, but an opponent that definitely the Beacons hold the talent advantage. And when you're more talented than a team, when you have more players on the field than them at one time, you should expect to score every time. Michael Claflin tried to get creative there, and that wraparound saved by Owen McNichols. His save numbers growing minute by minute. And now he joins the ball handling efforts for the Panthers attack. Shea Clark with it now across the midfield line. Clark going to take it all the way into the attacking box here before resetting and facing off against Elijah Beasley. Clark. He's a right-handed cradle, so he's going to take it all the way back to the X to get his angle right. He spins back now towards the left side post, rips a shot, it hits off the body of Trevor Coppy, and Justin McCullough is the closest to it, and so that is a shot out of bounds off of Plymouth State. You don't see that too often. Beacon's doing a good job here getting some of this momentum back. They came out kind of flat to start this third quarter. They trail in the quarter scoring 1-2. Remember, it was 11-2 at halftime. They score 12-4 right now. Greg Wolf, he had a beautiful opportunity a couple of minutes ago. He couldn't capitalize. He does have 1 goal in the afternoon. Out to Derek Fahey. He scored 2 goals very early on in this contest. Goes behind the net to Admiran from the X. Admiran just so comfortable with the ball and his stick behind the net there. Looks back out to Fahey. Fahey to Myers. Joe Myers to Derek Fahey. Spins in. He switches to the left hand. Now the right-handed pass to Myers. Myers gets to step into one. Another save by Owen McNichols. I tell you what, the Panthers are losing by 8, but not much fault can be placed on the back of number 40, the sophomore goaltender out of Manchester, New Hampshire. He's having himself a phenomenal afternoon. Myers could have sworn he was set for a goal there, and somehow McNichols kept it out. McNichols has shown a big strength at stopping those low shots. You cannot seem to beat this guy 5-hole. Now Nolan Burke back with it. He's yet to score this afternoon for the Panthers, but he's had the ball on his stick a lot. Dodging from X. Tries to pass it through the crease. Nothing doing as there was a sea of Beacons in the way. Ball is on the ground, and the ground ball scooped up, and a very, very late whistle called against Trevor Coppy, the goaltender. He's going to get called for, I believe that was a word once he got the ball. That's unfortunate because the Beacons, they almost got that ball out of harm's way, but they do right now. Ground ball picked up by Carey, the pass across the field to Delvey, and that's a clear, and here comes Delvey, the Beacons, with a fast break inside to Admiran, and that's kicked around by McNichols. He ultimately keeps it out. That one almost skipped across the goal line, and that would have been the easiest and least effort exerted goal ever in Gavin Admiran's career. Luckily, McNichols keeps it out of trouble, and once again, it's Big 16, Mark Hersham, rumbling into the offensive end for the Panthers. He gets it all the way through, got a shot off that got wide of Trevor Coppy, but it goes wide and out of bounds. They're going to say the Beacons were the closest to the ball, so they'll get possession back after that Hersham shot goes wide. Not much offense to speak of here in this third quarter. Joey Lober with a goal, Gavin Admirand with a goal, and that's been it. 12-4 the score. Beacons now taking their time before entering back into the offensive zone. It's going to be Charlie Chapman. He has 1 goal already this afternoon. He's a big right-handed shot. He spins to the left. He usually likes to pass out of the left-handed looks. They go around the perimeter to Brzezinski. Brzezinski angle drive in, and he gets the shot, beating McNichols top left side. He kind of had a rough angle to work with, and instead of trying to slide it by, he goes across the face of McNichols. Ball goes right by his helmet and tucks inside the top left corner. Another goal for the Beaks. And now, 9-goal lead again, as that's the 7th of the season for Brzezinski, his 2nd of the afternoon. 9-goal advantage. That's their 3rd different 9-goal lead, 9 being their largest differential of the contest. And now here's Jack Ranta with the long stick. He wins the faceoff. He controls it for the Beacons. They'll reset their offense with a chance to get their first double-digit lead of the afternoon. Gavin Admiran with 5. 2 goals apiece for Donovan Brzezinski and Greg Wolf. And here's Admiran once again with the Beacons comfortably holding a 9-goal lead. Everything you'd want to see so far this afternoon, you're getting out of the Beacons. They had a golden opportunity to get win number 7 today and doing everything they need to make that the conclusion. Here's Colin Ford. Gets the pass from Chapman around the perimeter. Back to Chapman. Charlie over to Gavin Admirand. How about that? Claflin unmarked behind the net. He fakes the pass. Now he has all the time in the world to figure out what he's going to do. Ducks the left shoulder down. Now swim move. He can't get past the front of the defense with a spin, so instead he goes low to high and finishes with a beautiful shot. His first goal of the contest. Michael Claflin, who on the season, make sure I have these numbers right, has scored 16 goals. That is his 17th of the season. He's the Beacons' leading scorer in terms of total points. Over the 30-point mark now with 32, because he already has 2 assists this afternoon. His first goal, and the Beacons, their largest lead of the afternoon. They're up 10. It's 14-4. Claflin with a goal. Chapman with a goal. Jacob Banks with a goal. Jason McNeely with a goal. Greg Wolf. And then obviously you have 5 from Admirand, 2 apiece from Przinski and Fahey. And it's a goal party here at James Conner Field as the Beacons, they might smell some blood in the water here. They almost got 20 goals their last home game against New England University, or pardon me, the University of New England. Have about 18 and a half minutes of lacrosse left here, and they only need 6 more to hit that number. Face-off was won by Plymouth State, so the Beacons, a rare defensive look here. Remember, Plymouth State, they definitely had the upper hand for the first 5 minutes of the third quarter, but this middle block of the third quarter, it's been all Beacons. And at one point, Plymouth State got it back down to a 7-goal game. And now a little man-on opportunity here for Nick Drew. Drew, 15 assists on the season. Looks back in the direction of Ryan Jones. Jones gets cut off, and he has to double it back all the way to Liam Brown. Brown has a goal today. His 5th of the year. He gets it over to Nolan Burke. Burke has been kept pretty quiet today. Finally gets inside of Trevor Coppy, and he beats him. Low to high, just got it across the goal line. Count the goal for Nolan Burke, and that makes it 14-5. Yeah, if you're in a situation like this, if you're Plymouth State, you're just looking for the little glimmers of hope, the little silver linings here, and you've had a couple of players really step up. Nolan Burke, on the season, 19 points. That's his 11th goal. And he had the ball in his stick a lot. Wasn't really able to make much out of it. He got into the crease a couple of times before scoring and finally gets his first goal of the afternoon, his 11th on the season. But the Beacons still leading comfortably, 14-5, vying for more here, and they get more here off the stick of Jason McNeely. His 2nd goal of the contest. For the 2nd time, he wins the faceoff, takes it down himself, and scores, and the Beacons back up by 10, back tied for their largest lead of the afternoon. Yeah, McNeely coming into action today, he took 4 shots. Wasn't able to find twine with any of them. This is his 2nd goal of the season, and 2nd goal of the game. Beacons back up 15-5. So now the Beacons, 17 minutes left in this contest. They are on pace for that 20-goal afternoon. No better way to assert your presence than hanging the 20 spot on a conference opponent to start conference play. And comparatively, against some of the other teams in the LEC, Plymouth State, pretty viable opponent, pretty game opponent. And it's a pretty long drive from the mountains up there in New Hampshire down here to Boston, and it just looks like Plymouth State's been having a hard time getting off the bus mentally and into this contest. Here's Greg Wolf. He scored the first goal of the afternoon. He's been kept fairly quiet ever since. Loses his stick. His ball was in it, and that will be a turnover against the Beacons. They played a pretty clean third quarter here, but that midfield turnover, it led to a pretty nice opportunity for Joey Lober, but he got dispossessed from Joe Myers. And Zach Mann, they combined on the hit there. Midfield turnover for the Beacons gives it back to Plymouth State. While lowering the head and just taking on all covers on the play, solo effort there from number 21, Ryan Jones. He got a shot off, but it was saved by Trevor Coppy. Trevor Coppy just stared down the charge of Jones, was able to get his stick in the way. That's going to be a turnover, though, against the Beacons there as some miscommunication. Patrick Colburn told Trevor Copy to throw it deep, and the player waiting on the wing, Justin McCullough, was not ready for it. So another turnover, and that'll lead to a goal, a ripped shot for Plymouth State's Matt Miner. We've called his name a lot, hasn't scored yet, scored in the second quarter. That is his 15th goal of the season now, his second of the afternoon for Plymouth State. He's a true freshman, very talented, and you expected to see him score a couple of goals today, bringing so many in on the season. It's his second, it's his 15th of the season, and the score 15-6. Goals all over the place here this Saturday afternoon at James Conner Field. Jack Dobrinsky, team's face-off man. You see the Beaks, Coach Lau, resort to Dobrinsky's efforts after they've lost a couple in the face-off circle. He's still winning over 75% of his face-offs. It's going to be a war against the Beacons. Possession given to the Panthers. So ultimately, Dobrinsky loses that face-off, and the Panthers not back into this contest, but you play for pride, you play for stats, and they give themselves an opportunity here to get consecutive goals and maybe make this an 8-goal game again. Nearing the 1-minute mark left in the third quarter, Nolan Burke, right-handed cradle, working against Elijah Beasley. Burke just scored his 11th goal of the season a couple of minutes ago, his first of the afternoon. Two-man defensive effort, kind of flustering him, knocking him off his block. And Burke ultimately has to slide the pass over to Matt Miner. Here's Miner, the true freshman. Going up against, McCullough. Nice save by Trevor Copy as that was a pass from Miner over to Liam Brown. Brown already with 1 goal this afternoon. Gets stopped by Trevor Copy, whose impressive day only continues. And how about this? Jacob Banks almost dodged through 2 different Panther defenders. Rather late whistle, though. You can hear the groans of the Panthers faithful coming in. At the timing of that whistle, it was rather late. But it gives Banks the opportunity here. 25 seconds left in the third quarter. Beacons leading by 9, trying to make it a 10-goal lead. So Jacob Banks. He has 1 goal already today. Same for Charlie Chapman. They work a 2-man game. Banks gets that right-handed shot off. He was able to get a step in, fire into it. It goes wide. Admiran picks it up, and the Beacons do have 7 seconds left. Can they get one more look in it? Yes, they do, and they score. Michael Claflin created some space for himself, and I think Plymouth State thought that period was more or less out of time. But when Admiran picked it up in the deep corner, he had 7 seconds left. He created some space, got it over to Michael Claflin. Claflin scores his 2nd of the afternoon, his 18th of the season, and the Beacons do go back up 10, and they most likely, barring anything crazy, will take that 10-goal lead into the 4th period. 18th of the year for Michael Claflin, 16th of the afternoon for the Beacons. Dobrinsky does not win the face-off. It gets controlled by Plymouth State, so they will get 1 more face-off win, but that really the lone blemish at the end of this third quarter. It started off slow for the Beacons. They get the momentum back, and they head in to quarter number 4 with a 10-goal lead. Just 15 minutes separating the Beacons from a 7-0 start to the 2021-2022 campaign. We'll take a quick break and be right back with the 4th and final quarter after this on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. We rejoin the action here high atop James Conner Field. 10-goal lead for the UMass Boston Beacons. Everything going right for the Beacons really this entire season, and today, no different. They lead 16-6. Gavin Admiran, as he normally does, leading the Beacons with 5 goals already. They win the face-off. Creative attempt there, actually, by McNeely to get that one towards the net to get a shot off, but where are we? 5 goals for Gavin Admiran, 2 apiece for Donovan Przinski, for Jacob Banks, for Jason McNeely, and Derek Fahey. Banks, Chapman, Wolf, all with goals. Some highlights for Plymouth State. The first goal of the season for Zach Gilvar. That was the first goal of the game for Plymouth State. We do have a penalty in waiting. Now remember, the Beacons, we didn't have a penalty in that third quarter. The Beacons, 3 man-up goals and a man-down goal. So 4 different goals scored on the differential already in this contest. They're going to have to play with a man-down here. Unless Plymouth State ends this possession with a score, Mike Fleury gets the shot off, and another save for Trevor Coppy. That will put a stop to play. But Trevor Coppy, unreal the afternoon he is having. Quick look at the numbers through 3 quarters of play. Beacons outscoring the Panthers 16-6. 13 assists on their 16 goals. The Panthers, 3 of their goals are unassisted. The Beacons, 40 shots already. 40 shots through 3 quarters, 28 shots through 3 for Plymouth State. The Beacons, 3 out of 4 on the extra man. Plymouth State, 0 of 4 on an extra man opportunity, and they have even allowed a man-down goal. The Beacons still almost perfect, 22 out of 23 on clear opportunities. Plymouth State, a very solid 17 out of 22, and the Beacons, a slight advantage in the face-off circle. They have won 14 of the game's 26 face-offs. 6-goal lead for the Beacons, playing with a man down for the 5th time today. They've scored once on the 4 prior man-down opportunities. As that shot doesn't get off there, I think some indecision from Nick Drew, and he got caught in a bad spot. He ends up turning the ball over, and now Patrick Carey picks it up with a head full of steam. How about this? The Beacons can score their 2nd man-down goal of the afternoon. The pass gets across the field, ultimately controlled by Mick Flynn. Now I think the Beacons might be better suited to just run out this man-up opportunity. But Luke Murphy's going to spin into some contact and maybe try and create a play here. Flynn and Murphy seem to work a 2-man game, and now Charlie Chapman comes back in, giving some new directions to Flynn here. They still have about 50 seconds on this man-down opportunity. And so Luke Murphy taking his sweet time cradling this back and forth. Okay, Joe Myers out of the sin bin. So we're back at even strength lacrosse. Here's Myers diving in. Over to Claflin. That was towards, that was towards Flynn in front of the net. He can't control it, though, and ultimately Plymouth State does get it out of trouble. Their 4th kill in 5 different, officially the Beacons kill off their 4th kill, or their 5th kill in 5 opportunities. They do not score the man-down goal, but we're back at even strength lacrosse again. Oh, nice interception read on the play by Claflin. Claflin ahead. Even numbers here for the Beacons. Flynn, cross-field pass. Wow, it got over to, that was Joe Myers, and he is able to sneak it inside the reach of the goalie. New goalie playing, that's Jesse Hurwa in net for the Panthers. And Joe Myers, his 5th of the season, his 1st of the afternoon, makes it a 17-6 lead. 17-6, everything working for the Beacons. Joe Myers, he's had a couple of different, so 6 games for the Beaks. Myers has played in all 6, now all 7. Myers with 2 different 2-goal games, so he's been held scoreless in 4 games, has 5 goals now on the year. That one off the pretty assist from Mick Flynn. And the Beacons, hey, they're keeping the starters out here. This is what we talked about. If you want to make a statement, make a statement. This is the time of year to do it. Fahey over to Claflin. Claflin tried to show off on that pretty low-to-high shot, using the right hand there. Claflin, one of 3 different Beacons vying for the next hat trick. Admirand already has one. Claflin with 2 goals. Fahey with 2. Przinski with 2. And actually, McNeely also has 2. And a goal. Oh, no, that was off the side of the net. I thought for a second Przinski had his 3rd of the game. Well, you see Jesse Hurwa now taking it out, doing some ball handling. He's not picked up across the midfield line. decides to retreat. Now he has to get himself back to the goal. Oh, no. So I think that was Ryan Jones was assuming that he would draw the push call. Instead, he's called for the ward. And so it's another turnover for Plymouth State. This second half started off with some promise for them. They scored 2 straight goals. They kind of had control of the first 5 minutes of action. But it since has fallen apart a bit. And now Chad Kidd deep on the right wing. Switches from the right-handed cradle to the left. He spins back into the right, looking for the right-handed shot, and he almost beat Jesse Hurwa, but Hurwa knocks that ball off to the side and ends up hitting the side of the net. Second straight save for Hurwa. And now Mark Iamili, the defensive stalwart for the Panthers. He's had himself a great game on the defensive end. You haven't seen him enter offensive waters too often. He's now behind the X spot, circling around the crease. Are we going to see a wraparound shot attempt here? No, he takes a huge hit. That ball gets to the midfield line, but it's kept in. And so same number offensive attack here for Plymouth State. Shea Clark. He's seen some more playing time here in the second half. True freshman out of Woburn, Mass. Goes backwards with it to Liam Brown. Brown scored a goal earlier on in this contest, in the game's second quarter. Has 5 goals on the season, does Brown. Circles it back to Minor. Minor loses his stick, loses the ball. Patrick Carey, another caused turnover. He's having himself a whale of an afternoon on the defensive stop. Carey on the season trying to get the number right for you. 17 caused turnovers on the year. That is so impressive. And now, here comes Luke Murphy. Over to Claflin. Claflin had to jump over the crease, and so therefore he couldn't keep control of that one. Jesse Hurwa picks it up. Hurwa's been impressive in his limited time. Played 35 minutes of lacrosse so far for the Panthers. His numbers stretch out to a 57% save percentage and a 9 goals against average. Those are both very good, normalized numbers when you take what he's done and stretch them out across an average of 60 minutes of action. Now, Owen McNichols, even though the Beacons have 17 goals on the scoreboard, played a fantastic game. The score could be a bit higher if McNichols wasn't locked and loaded. But now we get the look at the youngster, Jesse Hurwa, the rest of the way. This is Nick Drew, 15 assists on the season. Over to Nolan Burke. Burke has a goal today. Burke, right-handed cradle, and he just throws it away. I'm not quite sure what happened there. I think that pass just slipped away out of the stick of Nolan Burke. He was looking for Mike Fleury. Now, Fleury, 12 goals, 5 assists on the season. He's 6'2", 230. It's hard to miss it. The Beacons have done a great job today just keeping Big Mike out of the offensive flow for Plymouth State. He averages 2 goals a game. He's had some looks, hasn't really had any true opportunities. And the Beacons now just doing everything they need to do to wind this clock down here. 8.5 minutes left on a running clock. We've played 51.5 minutes of lacrosse, and it's really been all UMass Boston the entire way. This is Gavin Admiran. He has 5 goals today. Pass out to Jacob Banks, who has 1. Get our first look at Liam Bowler. Bowler very skilled when he has the ball in his stick, the sophomore, standing 6'1". Tend to see him towards the end of the games here. He's trying to break his way into the Beacons rotation. Great effort there by Banks to keep that one in, but it's a turnover by the aforementioned Bowler. He comes off, gives way to Elijah Beasley. And Plymouth State regains possession here. 17-6, it's been all Beacons. Gavin Admiran with 5, and a multitude of other Beacons with either 2 or 1. We'll cover the final scoring numbers when the time calls for it. Only 6 goals for Plymouth State. The Beacons low for goals allowed in a game, 7 right now. They allowed 7 in the game against the University of New England, so that might be a little game within a game here from head coach Tyler Loud, trying to keep the boys on it. You know, set a new record, if you will, for least amount of goals scored in a contest. Handoff here, and it's Liam Brown with it. Big-bodied midfielder, keeps it in a right-handed cradle. Zach Mann, going to give him all the space he needs, as really both teams now kind of in clock-killing mode, if you will. Brown, one-on-one against Mann. Passes it back out to the perimeter. Stepping into the shot from far out is Carl Flinter. Flinter, long-range specialist. He has 4 goals on the season. 75% shot on goal percentage, so he finds the target quite a bit with his shots. That ball poked away, and that might be a turnover against the Panthers. No, it's poked away by the Beacons. So that was 26, Justin McCullough, that got his stick on it. Last touch by him. Ball stays with Plymouth State. Nick Drew, once again, initiating the offense. Team's leading assist man. He's going to vie for a goal here. That shot goes wide. And I thought the Beacons won the race to the ball, but instead they're going to say Nolan Burke was closest to it. So now here's Nolan Burke resetting the offense for Plymouth State. Once again, back they go to Liam Brown. They've asked a lot of Liam Brown here. He doesn't normally see this many minutes. He has had the ball in his stick, really initiating the offense for most of the second half for Plymouth State. Tries a tough wraparound angle shot. It's saved by Copy, and there's going to be not a penalty, but there will be a little foul against the Beacons here, so possession stays in the Plymouth State zone. I guess Burke took some contact after that shot on net. Joe Catino, getting our first look at him here. Swings it over to Nick Drew. Now Nick Drew, one-on-one, back to the net. Another save by Trevor Copy. He goes low and covers it up. His impressive day continues. And it's one of those things where, you know, a game like this, you could bring in another goalie, maybe give Otto Kearley some game experience, but when Copy's firing on all cylinders, why would you need to do that? And that's Jacob Banks scoring his second goal of the afternoon. Another Beacon now with 2 goals, and basically the game is who gets the next hat trick. Admiran's got 5, Banks now has 2, Claflin with 2, Fahey with 2, Przinski with 2, and Jason McNeely with 2. And the Beacons leading by 12, their largest lead of the day. They are up 18-6. So for Banks, his second of the day, his 4th of the season. You have a lot of the midfielders really adding some numbers to their stats. Doing some good stat padding on the season. Jack Dobrinsky, one of those aforementioned players, hasn't scored a goal yet on the season. He wins another face-off for the Beaks. And around the perimeter they go. Shane McGonigal seeing his first action. Over to Banks, vying for the hat trick. Still has it. Back to McGonigal. Shane gets spun around. Has McCoy waiting. McCoy's going to come off. And now Banks. He's going to initiate the offense by himself. Goes inside to the crease. Wow, tried for the wild one-handed wraparound, but luckily Chapman, who just entered the action, back there, he'll reset the offense. Here's Charlie. Fakes the pass, gets right inside, and a big save by Jesse Hurwa. That was a beautiful faked pass by Chapman. Shot just couldn't find the target. Wow, Hurwa actually coming all the way out of his crease to get that one, and he gets it out of trouble. Great job by the Panthers goalie for the clear. Cut off in a bit of no man's land is Shea Clark. He keeps his cradle alive now and works it back out to the right wing. Score is 18-6. We haven't seen that much scoring here in the 4th quarter. Just 2 Beacons goals, one from Joe Myers, one from Jacob Banks. But the smooth sailing start to the Beacons 2022 season, it's continuing here at James Cotter Field. Panthers behind the net, working towards the middle. Ryan Jones over to Carl Flinter. Flinter dodging in, takes a huge hit on the play. Shot goes wide. Possession stays on the play with Plymouth State. You had a player losing his stick on the play. It was A.J. Rinaldi. He lost the stick on the defensive effort. Oh, he just completely broke it. Well, that's why. So you saw Rinaldi run off the field after making that stop on Flinter. He broke his stick in the process, but he had a new stick. And no goals scored. That's a win-win. It's a well-earned broken stick from A.J. Rinaldi. Here's Big Mike Fleury. Had a pass that wasn't intended towards anyone in the middle, and it's blocked away, and that is another save for Trevor Copy. This scoreline could be a lot different if Trevor Copy did not come to play the way he did today. The junior out of Attleboro, Mass, having himself an afternoon. Elijah Beasley took a spill. He got pushed from the backside. That'll be a penalty, and another man-up opportunity for the Beacons. The Beacons, as we mentioned, clinical in differential play so far this season, especially today. they have scored 4 different man-up goals. 18 of their 4 goals have been scored with a man up. And one of their 18 goals was even scored with a man down. The Panthers player takes his knee in the sin bin. And the Beacons going to restart their offense with a man up. And 3:54 left to go in the contest. The final result of this game, not in doubt in the slightest. It's just the numbers. That's what we're playing for now. Do the Beacons get their first 20-goal game of the season? Michael Claflin gets the go-ahead, and we're back underway here. Beacons with their starting offensive unit out here with a man up. So you got to think Coach Lau and the boys, they do want to hit that 20-goal plateau. Around the perimeter they go. Chapman to Admiran. Back to Gavin Admiran to Chapman. To Derek Fahey. Fahey. Left-handed pass to Admiran. Winds and fires, and that hit the face mask of Jesse Hurwa. He stood in there and stared that one down, and it clangs right off his mask and out of bounds, but it gets right to Derek Fahey, exactly the man who you want initiating the offense from behind the net. The referee directs Fahey onto his spot on the field. He passes it into Chapman. Charlie dodging in from the high side. Behind the net they go. Fahey gives it back to Chapman. Chapman lofts it across the field to Fahey from the X. Fahey spins. One-on-one look. He got Hurwa in the air, and Hurwa makes the save. Wow, that ball went off of his back and out of play. Fahey got hit hard right in front of the net. I'm not sure. That might be a crease violation on Derek Fahey. It's either that or a penalty on Plymouth State. We have 2 referees saw that play from very different angles, and we're going to wait on the official wording here. No, it is going to be a penalty on Plymouth State. Mitchell Privé called for the foul. Right when that first man-up opportunity ended, another one begins. So Plymouth State, they do actually kill off the Beacons' man-up opportunity, but they're saddled with another one. So the Beacons still with a chance for their 4th man-up goal of the afternoon, as Privé gets called for his 3rd penalty of the day. Wow, you don't normally see a senior midfielder who doesn't play the full duration of the game pick up 3 separate penalties, but he's in the sin bin again. And here come the Beacons. Around the perimeter they go. All of the starters on the field on offense right now, including Derek Fahey, around to Gavin Admiran to Charlie Chapman. He fakes right, goes left, back to Admiran. Gavin trying to free up some space. Over to Chapman. To Wolf. Wolf rips it. Nice save from Jesse Hurwa, the sophomore, looking very comfortable between the pipes for Plymouth State today. He lofts the pass ahead, intended for Mark Iamili, who can't pick it up. Although the Beacons, they can't win that ground ball, as that one clumsily whacked at by A.J. Rinaldi, and I think he might have just picked up a penalty. No, actually, that ball carried out of bounds by Plymouth State, so Rinaldi's defensive efforts paying off. He'll inbound it from right around the end of the Plymouth State bench. If you're just tuning in, really, this game has been decided basically since the 2nd quarter, but right now the Beacons, with a man up, trying to probe through this Plymouth State defense, get 1 goal to get them 1 goal closer to 20, and that'll do it. Derek Fahey finds the target. So there we go. 19 goals was the target. The Beacons scored 19 their last home game. They find 19 now. Fahey gets the hat trick for Derek, his, I believe, 19th goal of the season. He has 19, 1 goal away from 20, and the Beacons are also 1 goal away from 20. The score 19-6, and that's UMass Boston's largest lead of the afternoon. Beacons 19, Panthers 6. It's been an impressive game for the Beacons. They have gotten 50 shots on goal, 5-0. They have deposited 19 of them into the net. They have cleared on all but 1 of their 30 clear attempts. They have won 16 of 28 faceoffs. They have only committed 19 turnovers in comparison to Plymouth State's 28. It's all of the numbers you would want to read. We'll take a look at Trevor Coppi's day in a second here, as Plymouth State, a rare win in the faceoff circle. They backtrack it to Nolan Burke. We have 1 minute, 40 seconds left in this contest. Beacons fighting here to maybe get their first 20-goal game of the season. They will get their first conference win in their first conference game. Nick Drew, cut off, that pass right on in. It leads to a shot, and once again, Trevor Coppi just calmly plucks that one out of the air, gets the save, and now looks ahead for Simon Puro, and the Beacons have something going here. They have a fast break. Puro, cross the field to Flynn. Flynn fakes the shot, ducks inside, goes low, And he doesn't beat Jesse Hurwa. Another save for the sophomore goaltender. Hurwa having himself the afternoon. Burke ahead the other way for the Panthers. Pump fake, shot, score. It's Ryan Jones getting the goal for Plymouth State. And so the Beacons' scoreline mirrors the last time they played a game at home here. 19-7 as Ryan Jones gets his first goal of the afternoon for the Plymouth State Panthers. For Ryan, first goal of the season as well. He had 3 assists coming into the action today. That's his first for the game, first of the season, making the scoreline a little bit more respectable. So 19-7 is the score that we ended our last home game with. You'd have no problems beating a conference opponent by 12, 19-7, but that 20-goal mark is a juicy number. And with 45 seconds left to go, Dobrinsky doing everything he can to try and dispossess the Panthers. This ball is still up for grabs. This is still a loose face-off technically. Ultimately, the play is going to be blown dead. It will be a call against the Beacons. So the Panthers get to initiate their offense, 37 seconds left. Spinning behind the net with it, Joe O'Reilly seeing his first action. He takes a shot that goes wide. Plymouth State gives chase, and it's Ryan Jones who just scored the goal back in the deep left corner. 20 seconds left. The Beacons 20 seconds away from their 7th win of the season. 7-0 start. We're going to have to look at some historic numbers. That might be one of the best starts that the Beacons have gotten off to as a lacrosse program. Another save for Trevor Coppy. Very, very close to 20 saves this afternoon. One last offensive rush in from the baseline here. Backwards they go. Minor shot skips wide and away. 2 seconds left. And really, all that's left to do here is walk this one across the line. One pass inside. The shot is saved, and that's a fitting way for this game to end as Trevor Coppy saves that inbounds pass, and this game has gone final. Now, you don't like to see this. Trevor Coppy going to get up with a little bit of a limp, but he had himself one whale of an afternoon. 5 goals for Gavin Admiran, 3 for Derek Fahey, and Trevor Coppy standing on his head for all 60 minutes. The Beacons now 7-0 on the season. They are still undefeated, and then they are now 1-0 in conference play. We are going to take a very quick break, and when we come back, we'll have the final numbers right after this. We are back here high atop James Cotter Field. The game has gone final. For the second home game in a row, the Beacons win by 12 by a score of 19-7. With the win, the Beacons 7-0 on the season, 1-0 in conference play. And Plymouth State falls to 2-6 on the year. 19-7, that's the score, and we're going to go through all the goals right now. Greg Wolf got the scoring started. His 15th of the season made it 1-0 Beacons. Then Gavin Admiran. 2 straight goals. The first one assisted by Zach Mann. The second assisted by Michael Claflin, making it 3-0 Beaks. Derek Fahey then 2 in a row, making it 4 and 5-0 Beacons. And the 6th straight Beacons goal to start the day, scored by Gavin Admiran. He got himself a hat trick before Plymouth State even scored. It was 6-0. With 1:48 left in the first, Zach Gilvar scored his first goal of his collegiate career to make it 6-1, but then 6 seconds later, Jason McNeely won the faceoff, took it down, and scored his first goal of the season, 7-1. Second period, more of the same. Przinski got the scoring started, followed by Chapman, and then another Admiran goal made it 10-1 Beaks. Matt Miner scored his first goal of the contest, making it 10-2. Jacob Bax answered, making it 11-2, and right before the half, Ryan Hanlon scored a goal, making it 11-3. That was our halftime score. Joey Lober scored the first goal of the third quarter, making it 11-4, but then the Beaks hopped back on the scoring train. Gavin Admiran, his fourth goal of the game. Przinski, his second. Claflin's first, made it 14-4 Beacons. Nolan Burke's first goal of the game made it 14-5 Beacons, but then Jason McNeely scored his second, making it 16-5. Matt Miner scored a goal, followed by Michael Claflin's answer, and the third period ended with a score of 17-6. Just 3 goals to speak of in the fourth and final quarter. Joe Meyer scored his first goal of the game, his 5th of the season, to make it 18-6. Jacob Banks scored, making it 19-6, and then finally Derek Fahey. There's a Plymouth State goal that was scored in the fourth quarter. Ryan Jones scored the last goal for Plymouth State, and then Derek Fahey with the final goal of the afternoon. So Fahey gets himself a hat trick, 5 goals for Gavin Admiran, 3 different Beacons with 2 more goals. Everything came up UMass Boston Beacons today. And so that will do it for what turned into a very quickly empty press box here at James Cotter Field. For Kelsey Ryan sitting right next to me, my name is Chris Del Sordo. Thank you guys so much for spending your afternoon with us. The Beacons stay undefeated, and now they hit a 5-game road trip with 7 straight wins under their belt. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Whatever you do, do it safely. And roll Beaks. We'll see you next time here on the BBN.